Hi Mama, welcome to Becca Holmes Yoga. Today's class is a restorative class for conceiving. So we're focusing on the nervous system and completely relaxing the nervous system to prepare our bodies for pregnancy. And so another thing we're going to focus on are the energetics of our reproductive system. So we're going to focus on sacral chakra opening as well as heart chakra opening, welcoming the baby into our body and into our spiritual space. So we're going to need a lot of props, maybe. It's completely up to you, but I do recommend a cushion or two, and you can use a bolster or a pillow. Couch cushion works great, and a couple of blocks as well. And before we get started, if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe so that you can get notified of my weekly classes. All right, so we're only going to be doing about 4 postures, holding each for about 5 minutes, okay? So we're going to start with a child's pose, and this is going to be a very supportive, like I said, restorative child's pose. So you're going to find what works best for you playing with your props. I know what I love is a lifted seat so that it doesn't feel too deep and too intense on the hips. And then I'm going to do quite wide knees. So you can do wide knees or knees touching, heels further apart like I have. Again, you're going to play with it and play with what feels good for you today. Today might be different from tomorrow, etc. And then with your cushion, see now I've actually got some space here between myself and the cushion. So I'm going to bring a block in for my forehead. And I'm even going to bring this other block in for my chest. Oh, that feels perfect. So I'm closing all of the gaps so that I'm not doing any work. So in restorative, when we're not doing any work and we're letting the body be fully supported by our props and by the mat, it allows our nervous system to completely restore and reset. And if you've done any research or just instinctively, I think we know that pregnancy can come a little bit easier to us and be a little easier to manage when we're not stressed out, when we're not anxious, right? So go ahead and settle in once you've found your props. And we'll be here for about 5 minutes. So really make sure that you've settled in your props a way that you can fully relax. And find your breath once you've settled in. Just connecting with that life force giving breath. And let's go through a quick body scan, beginning at the top of our crown. Just working our way down through the face with an inhale, awareness, and with an exhale, releasing any tension. Observe the forehead. And then on to the jaw. Inhale, awareness around the neck, shoulders, arms. Exhale, tension. Inhale, awareness of any tension around the chest, the heart space, the core, the back. Exhale, release. And then moving into the hips, our sacral chakra area. This is our womb center, our creation space where the baby would live. Notice any tension there, any stress, emotional or physical. Exhale, release. And then working your way all the way down the legs, all the way to your tiptoes. Exhale, release any tension.
continue breathing. We're about halfway through this posture. And just continue to notice any tension that you might be holding, and on an exhale, try to release. Let's begin to slowly come up. Place the palms down. Use them to walk yourself up. And then pause at the top. Taking a deep breath in. And then just observe your nervous system, your state of being, and notice if it's shifted after the first posture. Next, we're moving into supported frog. So this one, I'm going to use a lot of lift on my props. So frog is when our knees are going to go straight out and the feet come out so that they are parallel to one another. The idea is that we're getting a deeper stretch here in our, like I said, in our sacral chakra region, excuse me. So in our outer hips, inner hips. So I can already feel that I'm going to need lots of lift. So this is one to play with again. So you might take your blocks and set your bolster or pillow on top of it. This way, flip it so that the comfortable part is actually on your hips. And then coming in like this. And that feels about a good height to me. And then I've got my cushion here to lie all the way down on. Okay, so play with that a little bit and lift as high as you need to. Instead of blocks, you might have 2 pillows, but whatever feels good for you. Again, we don't want to be doing any work. We want to be able to completely relax down. And so this restorative is a little different from yin, for example. In yin, we would definitely want to feel this stretch a little bit. But with restorative, ideally, you are lifted enough to where your hips are opening and we're moving energy through that sacral chakra region, but without feeling an intense stretch so that our nervous system can still relax. And then rest your head to one side, right or left ear down, and then we'll switch our ear about halfway through. And again, notice your breath. You don't have to manipulate or change the breath, but just observe. And you can begin again scanning the body. I'll leave you to scan on your own now so that we can sit here in silence together. But that's an option to go through the body and just notice where there's any tension that you might be holding. Inhale, observe and notice, and exhale, release. Let's switch our ear. So lift the head, turning the neck, other ear rests down. And about another 2 minutes here. Slowly lift the head to come out of this posture. Palms go down, and I find it easy to get out if I put my feet together. And so that kind of brings me into an upside down butterfly, so there's not nearly as much stress and tension as I come out. And then slowly the knees come together, and you can walk yourself back. And again, just sit on the knees. And then rest there on the shins for a moment. You can take the hand to the heart or the hand to the belly. Take a deep breath, pause. Again, take in that posture. And anytime we're in these slower classes too, take the time to speak to either spirit baby or baby already in the womb. This is a time for you two to connect with one another. Okay, next we're moving into supported butterfly. This is one of my faves. So let us get nice and cozy with our props. Now I'm gonna save my blocks to put under my knees in butterfly. So I'm gonna use both my cushions to lift me up. So you might have a different setup. You might wanna lie down on your blocks and have your cushion underneath your legs. So find like whatever's most comfortable for you. I just prefer to have my pillow under my back rather than the blocks. So what that looks like for me, something like that. Okay, and then I'm gonna find the base of my spine directly up against that. Play with it, find it, feel it. Okay, that feels pretty good. And then grabbing my blocks. And again, I could just let the knees hang, but for restorative, want to be fully supported and don't want to have to work in any way. Okay, so soles of the feet are touching, knees are opening. And then if you need different levels too, again, whatever feels good so that you have as little effort as possible. Nice and supported. And once you get there, settle in. Find your breath. Again, another 5 minutes here.
And then bring some awareness again to the areas that we are opening to receive our babies. So here is a vulnerable heart opening. If you notice, arms open wide, heart open to the sky, available and ready to receive, ready to love. And then we're opening through the sacral chakra, opening the hips, bringing energy and space into our womb creation center. So again, invitation to do either a body scan, inhaling when you notice tension, exhaling, release, or again, also taking this time to just contemplate and meditate on the baby you're inviting into the womb or the baby already in the womb. And then enjoy, relax. Another thing is getting ready and ready for resting. Lots of resting in pregnancy. Blink the eyes open and maybe give fingers and toes a little wiggle. We settled in nice and good there. So let's wake the body up a little. And then go ahead and bring the knees together. And as we get used to taking care of our pregnant body, let's let our arms do the effort, not our abs. We're gonna start relaxing the abdominals. So you can use the forearms or the hands to completely push yourself up. And take your time. I could have fallen asleep there. I don't know about you. Okay, last posture. We're doing Savasana, but I'm going to show you side Savasana. So this is how you will probably find yourself sleeping in pregnancy, as well as doing Savasana as you advance, especially into the later trimesters. So again, you're just gonna kind of play with your props. I'm gonna use 2 cushions. I'm not going to need my blocks, but again, whatever's most comfortable for you. Some people like the block between their knees. I prefer my cushion. So you're just gonna lie on your side. Okay. And then use that cushion to support the knees, the feet, cushion under the head. Neck is nice and straight. So that's another one that's ideal. If your neck is too high or too low, that can add some strain. So finding a pillow that allows your spine to be straight. And then fully relax in. And in pregnancy, you may find yourself sleeping this way. This is the ideal side for baby's positioning, actually, left occiput posterior, I believe, or anterior. I get it confused, but having the baby's back to your left side. And this allows gravity to sort of help that process, as well as your stomach is on this side, so it helps with heartburn potentially. And also, if you do end up co-sleeping, this is a nice little cuddle curl, and then your baby can be right here for breastfeeding in the middle of the night. So side Shavasana actually translates to a lot of different things in the bed at night, during pregnancy and beyond. So get comfortable here is the short of it. I've spent a lot of time in this position. And again, completely settle in, adjust as you need to make sure there's very little effort and that you're fully supported. And then finding our last few minutes of practice here together, again, in contemplation of your baby in the womb or inviting your baby in. As well, you can, again, inhale, notice and observe any tension throughout the body or throughout the spirit. And then exhale, release that. And we'll settle in again, about 5 minutes total, so about 4 more minutes. And then we'll close out the class together.
Begin to wake the body up. Take a deep breath in. Sigh it out. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Maybe the wrists and ankles. Take a deep stretch. And then come up nice and slowly again, using your hands and arms to bring you up, not your core. And then meet me in a seat. And then hands can rest at heart center or one hand on the heart, one on the womb. And take a couple more deep breaths just to close out the practice. And again, inviting spirit baby into your space. If you're on the conception journey or on that journey, maybe baby is already in the womb. And just feeling that connection and feeling that you are worthy of this pregnancy. And that your body, mind, and spirit are ready. Let's finish the class with an Om. Inhale to prepare. Thank you so much for joining me, Mama. I honor you and your pregnancy journey and your practice along the way and your growth. I'd love to hear from you. Let us know in the comments how you're doing, and go ahead and again, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next week. Bye.